I'm hesitant to wait a few minutes and maybe I'll find out. Um, Let me just see if it matches on here. This is fully charged, I think. So, um, 3:30. Okay. Uh, and there's one or two moments that I thought maybe more so, but sorry, I can't see this view here. Now, what was I looking? Oh, right. I remember now. Oh, we got a like. I appreciate that. Curious to see who you've got here. I believe I have all messages turned on for chat there. Just trying to do something on the computer as well. Oh, hello. Okay. Came in and with a hello. Right. Well, you were there earlier. How's your day going? Um, my eyes are a little bit. I don't know. It was weird. I was just watching a person stream. Um, yeah, okay. Kind of long and boring. I've had a couple interesting chats though. Um, and his camera didn't work, so he was just talking to the black screen. But I started to really enjoy the chat with the guy, and he's this guy now, yeah. And um, basically, but then when I then his I can't remember exactly how I realized that one of my comments didn't go through, and then I scrolled up and then scrolled back. It said the video wasn't available. However, he did say that, and sometimes that happens. Like at first, when you, well, he did. He had said quite a while ago, and I was going to go live quite a while ago, that he didn't think he was going to roll much longer for the day. But I don't know what other play. He sounds like he has a very certain life and works, but I don't know if he worked today. And it's not in my watch history, his videos, even though everything else that I've watched is. So I just wanted to check it on here. I can't think of. No, because that's not him. It looks a bit like him, and this guy's live as well. But they had a different voice, I'm pretty sure. And that guy was on camera. If the other one had been able to fix his camera, he would have been as well. Um, yeah, we talked for like it's 3:30. I would say we talked for an hour and a half. I'm not really sure. Yeah, sometimes even a small number, quality over quantity, right? Sometimes, but yeah, I've gotten like 5 new ones today, so I'm pretty happy. But yeah, I don't know what's going on. It's not showing here either. Trying to remember what he went by. I remember part of it. I don't know if I remember all of it, or if it's common. I don't know if this is him or not. I don't think so. Um, but I mean, so I don't know if that was a waste of time or not. Talking to that person, I enjoyed it. I don't know if he blocked me. I'm not. I don't know if I said something. One thing that we were kind of talking about is he's pretty much in a relation. I'm not going to say much about him because I shouldn't. But he's pretty much in a relationship that sounds like it's not much of a. I don't want to say that it's for convenience, but it's the guy doesn't fully accept him. Um, he has alcohol issues. He sits and plays video games all the time, and he just really, and likes to be doted on. And this guy's not making a lot of money. He says that he's pretty much supporting this guy, but he says he likes it and he's in love. He likes to do so. He's in love, and so there was a couple times, and the other times didn't really seem to bother him. But there were a couple times where I said, but I don't know. I don't know. That doesn't sound good. you know. Um, but um, I was just simply trying to help, and I thought that it kind of didn't. So I mean, but in some ways it did. So I don't know. I don't know. So I don't know if I mean if he hasn't blocked me and he sees this, or if he unblocks me. Like let's remember we hadn't. I know it. You know, was not even like more than a week, but still an hour and a half talking to the same person and gelling with them and connecting with them on different things and maybe having some different viewpoints on some things. But I was able to look past a couple things, and I hope that this person will be too, and that. Um, you know, maybe we'll see each other on each other's channel again. I mean, pretty quickly. He actually had thought that it'd be cool to do some singing and come onto my live stream and figure that out at some point. Well, my email, but that was just stay in touch, I guess, on a one-on-one basis. And I said something about let me know when you're drunk or whatever. And I think he thought, oh, because you want to drink with me and we can do it at least virtually. But no, I'm not really for that much. I mean, people drinking moderately every now and then, most people do that. But oh, this key. Okay, hopefully you get them. And 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now it's 10 o'clock there. Your day's almost finished. Whew. I also was just remembering, by the way, I won't be rolling live tonight. I do have another distraction that's only a few hours away. Um, Distraction may not be the right word, but so I've got to have my energy for that. But I'm rolling now, yeah. So I do have to run upstairs myself, and I certainly don't want your horse to get too far away. Of course, those creatures, as he said, some people that, but can run pretty fast, and so I definitely, yeah, go try and catch your horse, hold your horses. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know if that joke quite flowed the way I wanted it to, but and come back when you can. I do have to run upstairs for under 5 minutes in a moment. And yeah, I'm feeling very low energy today. It's been decent out as far as the sky is blue and it's not windy or snowing, but apparently it's very cold. Um, I almost want to open up that door. It doesn't lock the door, but and that one I'm not going to feel for some fresh air. But as soon as I do, the dog, who actually looks—I don't know if he's just relaxed or sick. The way you're laying here. Are you okay, honey? Are you okay? Hey, be good. Yeah, you're okay. Your usual feisty self. It's is school back in? That might depend on different wherever the person lives. But we live not super far from a school, and I'm a little bit worried that if I open this, it could be noisy out there. Oh, also that. That might be downstairs right there. And also. Yeah, the video's really not that loud. Ooh, it must be cold. The window's frosty. I'm a little hungry. I just want to eat something. I'll be right with you. I don't know what I want to eat. I don't really want anything dry. I almost want some more of that soup. But if I can make it last for one more meal, which is about what there is there. If I didn't drink coffee at this time of day. Now if I'm careful, so it doesn't get too dry this time. Just for something, even though it's not a bit of eat. Maybe a few of these. Make a little trail mix without raisins. Since I don't like them anyway. Yeah, I'm not too sure how long I will, but I have at least an hour 45 minutes. He's going to have to cab home because the person that brought him in doesn't work as late. So he either hopes to finish early, in which case could be here any moment, or possibly somebody else, but some of them go in the opposite way, so he doesn't even want to ask. And, what was that name about, eh? And, or the bus, which our transit system sucks. But, this might not be the best thing to eat while I'm podcasting. It might make my throat a little scratchy. But what can you do? Can't remember my other thought at the moment. Also makes my lips quite dry. But yeah, it's unfortunate that I kind of didn't get out anywhere today, but, well, what can you do, eh? Having fun inside. What was the other thing? There was something else I was going to say. I don't remember what. Those are sea salt, really? I prefer regular salt. I think of salt for I mean, I don't even eat seafood. But, they don't seem that salty, but I have to be careful that the dog doesn't get them. So, one thing I did want to say is, so when I was watching that person's video, I feel like, the type of person that I am is that I feel like I'd rather say this from somebody here. There was, right until I said how I feel. Like, I don't care. No, as long as you scroll on, fine. But you could start. You could find some care. You could get to that spot. But, and I'll add to that, to those that see this afterwards, I think I said something similar in my other video too. It just happened to be expressed. You take the time to get to know someone, you might find you actually enjoy them, enjoy chatting with them and that. And I know that my peeps that I've met on here, that I have in the YouTube community, who come on, they're instantly liked and instantly jump into conversation. It didn't take them long, I don't think. I've never really thought to ask them if how long they lurked before they said anything. I should think to do so next time. But, I don't hear my voice talking with the face, so we're watching back tomorrow, But, there's the phrase, to know me is to love me, a lot of us could say that about ourselves. I think it's a pretty valid point for the most part. Not to sound complete my own big or highly egotistical, but those that don't take the time to, Everyone's missed out on the great conversation, But speaking of that, so the video, okay, there was two people there, both at the same time. What are you doing? Okay, I think I'm gonna close this. It's a little chilly. Took me a while, and I had socks on too for some of the time. Took me a while for my feet to warm up earlier. I'm gonna move this a little bit closer, and yeah, so now we're on the other side of things. But I'm just gonna sit and think for a moment. Till we got viewers. I know one of them would still be here if she could be, but she's trying to get her horse out of escape, as you may have gathered. But horses are our pets. In some ways they're there's no horsing around when you own a horse. Sorry. I don't know if that was any less lame a joke, but there you have it. But yeah, if he's still watching, it's like, what else are you gonna do with me? I'm not in the habit of doing that, and definitely not, not ever intending to say anything bad about people. If I'm not interested in someone or just like them to a certain level, I just don't pay attention to them. I still think the way to do it, the way to be. But no, I was only doing it because I cared and was trying to help. And the thing is, I think that he kind of knew it too. Like, I think he kind of knew that it wasn't the greatest situation he had himself in, but with that person. But I guess they say love makes love and the way our life has shaped us makes us do things sometimes, right? But I don't want to eat all these now, but it's certainly a good thing for the munchies, that's for sure. One more handful. May not have been a huge handful, but one more handful while I sit here and contemplate. Because yes, I'm the type of person that, not always, but almost always, if I see something or hear something, it gets me thinking. And it's kind of like, okay, what was I meant to hear or see that, like, what was the purpose? Like say when you talk to somebody for an hour and a half or whatever it was, sure, we filled each other's day a little bit, and maybe even our hearts, but because maybe that was what was needed for both of us, and I wouldn't disagree with that. But was there something deeper? Well, one thing, kind of, that I already alluded to, so I can remember most that, nobody knows this, but like, that could be a lot more problematic, and you wouldn't be dating me then, um, could be, but certainly don't plan to be. Sure, have it. You were that close. I stopped you, but sorry. But yeah, so what else? There was an interesting kind of experience in that interaction where he didn't mean to invalidate somebody, but he also didn't entirely accept it. But that, yeah, a lot of things are quite complex and complicated, it's true. Right? I'm trying to think of what else stood out. I wish he was here, because then, what stood out is I'm not in my 20s anymore. I'm not far from them, but I'm not in my 20s anymore. And I mean, everybody's different, but You know, and I went to bars a lot more when I was that age, but I've never been a huge drinker. I've nearly never have been. And, you know, um, yeah. It's not that I never have, you know. And I'm not just saying that. I have. But never to the point of, I don't, because I don't get it. To the point of, to the point of puking all the time. To the point of, and by the way, not that this relates to this, just something I saw right before I started rolling. She wasn't driving. She was in a building of some sort. Anyway, I don't like the taste of it very much, and I really can't afford it very much. And I don't know what he's going on about, but hopefully he stops soon. You're like, I'm thinking the same thing about you. I'm just kidding. Be nice. I'm sure something will be interesting to you, and you can help. You can help create the conversation as long as it's in love and kindness. I'm good with it. But yeah, what else? I don't know. 50% already, man. This thing drops fast. Um, just trying to think. Because yeah, I don't want to happen to waste time. You know, if I'm never trying to do that again, I don't know if it was just technology being wonky or something else. Um, then what else do I get from it? I know sometimes people have to handle it, but this guy has a camera, and his voice doesn't sound the same. I otherwise think he kind of looks the same, and I'm kind of curious. Although, sounds like maybe this is a kind of deep stuff that's being talked about there. Not that I don't do that, but I don't really feel like. Well, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know how much I feel like being deep at the moment, but I just don't remember if it was that at the beginning. I'm pretty sure he had more than one subscriber. I guess I'm not entirely sure. No, that's not him. I wish YT was more consistent with their menus, but it's okay.
Uh, uh, what is this? Cameras? Oh,
Just trying to figure out if this is this person I was thinking of.
how does this work? Oh, wow.
I'm not sure, but I'm not too drawn to the. It looks a bit like him. I'm trying to decide if it sounds like him, and then the name is kind of unique. He's like, "Are you trying to find me? I'm right here." No, he didn't say that yet, but we've got two people here, so I welcome you. Um, but I'm thinking it might be though, because I'm back. I bring some news and a camera, but that was 3 years ago. And he also said he had a bunch of phones, which I don't entirely know what to make of that. But if one's camera doesn't work, you'd think
Welcome,
that.
gentlemen.
Well, he said it did work for other things though. I don't know that he just used that one. Find the one that works with YouTube and use it. I don't know. Life's confusing, right? Sometimes, but yeah. Thinking back to that conversation, and you're welcome to bring things into this one. And I've got about 30, 45 minutes. I can chat, but yeah, I'm trying to think what was the what else I got from it. And I really think it's largely that I'm tired, largely that I'm kind of feeling mixed feelings. Um, but um, and that kind of thing. But I'm just kind of a bit of a mushy blur at the moment. So it's a bit like um, I know that I'm here to accept people, pretty much however they wish to, okay, for the most part. Um, and yeah, um, just quickly putting something in the chat because yeah, I didn't really have an idea for a title. I was ready to roll, so I just went with that I'm live. Um, but I would like to have a more interesting title than that. If I was to sit and think about what I've talked about so far, um, I may have thought of one. So just a moment here. Uh, I don't know whether I want to use the C word or the P word or the, and I don't mean, there's a lot of words to start with that. Um, um, uh, I'm just coming up with a title to this. I'm not just sitting here stammering. No. Okay, I think I got one. And I'm going to talk about it for a few moments. I mean, I've maybe sort of already alluded to it, but I'm going to talk about it a little bit more. That was weird. There was 3 likes. I'm looking at it on this page as well, not because I'm conceited, but just because I'm doing some tasks connected, and it's still okay. I see. So that's kind of what I'm gonna, you know, um, oh, that's right, because I put it in the thing too. Uh, 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 uh. Now I don't know if I took away that one, if it would take away this one too, so I'm not gonna worry about it. So non-scripted. If I'm to talk on that topic that I just kind of uh, summarized, uh, that inspired this, and we could talk about almost, but not necessarily anything else. Um, I would say, um, first of all, we have to value people and connection. We all do. We all want to. That's the thing. I don't care whether you consider yourself to be an introvert mostly or not. We all do. And that's a very human thing that, starts, at our youngest years in school. We're trying to make friends. We're trying to find our, you know, friend group and stuff, right? And it never really stops throughout life. I mean, maybe when you become elderly, but I would say it's still there then too. Um, and that's it's important and it's valuable. And if I was to share some things that I've learned in my lived experience as far as that goes, I mean, in the day of the internet, the days of the internet have made it in a lot of ways so much easier. But I would say when you know somebody from a place that a place or an agency or whatever that you go to often. Although I would say this, but then like there's one or two I'm thinking of that I think I did have on social media, and then they didn't use it very much at one point. And then, yeah. But when you're really connecting well with people, having this realization that you might not continue to go through those things for all of your life, uh, you value the connection. You want to have, the connection as maybe as possible, perhaps, um, so that you never lose touch. Fallouts can happen, reconnections, and then fallouts can happen, unfortunately. But also the opposite can happen, and some people have been friends with certain people for most of their lives. It's really quite something, since school. Or like I'll never forget, I one kind of relative. She was in the Big Brothers Big Sisters program. I say kind of relative because it was in my blended family, and she stayed in touch with the mentor that she was connected with. I don't know how young she was. I don't know if there's an age limit. It might be 18, but because otherwise you're then considered an adult, right? Pretty much. Uh, but yeah, she stayed in touch with her into their 50s or 60s. I mean, she's since passed away. Maybe they both have. I don't know. And it was at her husband's life celebration, actually, that I met her. Um, but yeah, so basically, and to also value it in the sense of like, um, in the sense of, um, having that empathy and open empathy and desire, and we got three all at once suddenly, for clarity when needed. Like I think this person I was just talking to doesn't seem the type that would, he seems pretty well expressed, seems pretty open with his thoughts. So if he was confused by something, I would think that he would say so. Um, Because I did mention more than once, it's true. But he kept going on about the guy. I mean, so, I mean, I feel like it kept coming up, so I kept addressing it, for lack of a different way to put it. But yeah, so basically, but because the thing is, we can think we know what somebody means about something. I'm just going to go get a water to top off this one with. Um, we can think we know what somebody means about something, and we might be right. But if we don't ask, we won't know for sure. Because it might not be what we first thought, or or even the second thing we thought of. It might, like what was the one thing he did say? Uh, this was an interesting thought. I disagree with it pretty much, but it was an interesting thought, and I'm not even sure if I say it, but it's interesting that somebody saw it this way. I don't know if I want to use the same wording or what. Again, I don't want to talk too much about this individual. Basically, they were transmasculine, and you got that. Now, many people are just trying to play with the other person's head. And he also said, especially people that are autistic, that never would have occurred to me. I'm not that way. You know what I mean? And if we take the autistic part out of it, which I think he didn't think that he was, by the way, and I'm not large. I'm just talking about the conversation I had. Really, like I said, I don't even remember or exactly know what his name was anyway. But I'm not here to talk bad about people either. But yeah, basically, what he said was that he's like, I'll tell you what I said. That I'm gonna have to plug this in a moment. Hopefully it won't conquer. I might just do the same kind of thing and talk but not be only be heard, not seen. Okay, it looks fine, which is good. I do prefer that. Just not because I necessarily think I'm hot stuff, but maybe you do. But yeah, especially after being on his chat for a while and with the non-working camera and just looking at this black screen and in the comments. Sometimes I was the only one there actually, but not entirely. Yeah, it kind of like made me sleepy. Actually, is what it did. But anyway, basically, as far as what I do think might be kind of a common thought, even though I thought that that was kind of a unique perspective. I'm going to be talking with them in person today, actually. If it might come up. I don't have a whole lot else I'm planning to talk about with them, but a little bit. But the interesting thought of if trans people are confused by non-binary people. I bet you there are a lot that think, well, I should have considered that option before, going and doing what I did. Not me personally, but I never would. But this person though didn't feel that. Wasn't entirely happy with the choice, but liked his life and was pretty happy. It was more that is what partner didn't accept. And that's like I said. I thought that was wrong. Especially if the guy is bi, which I thought it said that he was. It's like, you know. But then there was also mention of the guy says, "Oh, we're just friends, or whatever," and he maybe the other guy meant that seriously, and the one who I was talking to um, didn't want to take it that way because wanted it to be something deeper than that. That's a I think pretty accurate, perhaps some valid point. Anyway, I've already said a couple times and earlier on, I'm not here to talk badly about somebody. I'm just, what do I get from having watched that? Because, aside from that, it filled a bit of time for the both of us. I feel like there may have been another reason. So, whether it's just bringing it up in my video and talking a little bit about some of the topics, um, maybe it is just that. Word of the day. That's really weird. This is an example of where, and they're both the same time. Oh no, I do see it in both places. Word of the day. I don't usually have just one word of the day. I have many. um, First time to the channel. How did you come across this, by the way? Um, and it's very ironic, actually, because I was just talking about a relative, a non-biological relative, but still essentially a relative. And I was talking about one of his relatives, and his grandson's name is Gustav, and the brother's name is Sigmund. I know, unique names, right? Where's the diagram machine? But and Willem kind of makes me think about my 20s as well and my band days and music group and all that stuff. Doesn't look like you're still here. I'm not sure why it's showing below my pin there and above it here. But I've got to say that seems a little bit trolly, to be honest. Oh. Oh, more substance than trolls. Yeah, I talked about it right away because I practically just came from that. You know, I didn't see anything too disturbing, but I really do like though that I found that feature of scrolling lives and finding just your average person who's currently rolling and just wants to chat. You know, as opposed to like pre-uploaded stuff or whatever you call it. the difference that I'm trying to say. It's interesting in this what you can come across. But the other thing I want to quickly check actually on here is if it says my subscriptions or just my Sharona. Just kidding. But that's actually makes me think of that day too, because I used to have a connection um, on a platform. I don't use a lot of them really, but back in the day, well, I don't use the account anymore, but I can't remember why else. I think we should just stop sending. But I used to have a connection that used to send me singing clips. She wasn't a bad singer either.
Inflate what? Oh, creamy, them that inflate when you go home.
Hmm. Okay, there's too many dogs that it's going to get out. So I can't stay. She doesn't have her hair done up like usual either, and says she's driving with her husband. But first she's in a building, and then she's in might be her home. I'm not sure, but I'll check it out later. So yeah, I can chat for another 25, 30 minutes if anybody would like to on anything. If you'd like to hear me do a song, feel free. In the meantime, how's that work? In the meantime, sort of want to watch her again, but hers pretty much. She has a very active chat. Hers videos. I mean, I did kind of say a couple specific things the other day, and she kind of reacted to that. But her video mostly consists of saying hi to people. That being said, yeah, never seen I was looking like that. Is there anything maybe that I could bring up about there? I don't know how to ask that question. Okay. Um, which is fine and all, but not that interesting to listen to, really. But if you're just wanting to go there and you're looking at like particular chatters' names, and it's like, oh, is there something that resonates, or it's like I relate to some, like I know somebody with that last name or whatever it is, then it may be. But things have been a bit quiet here. I know that my one friend said she hoped to come back. I don't know why it's still showing me that, to be honest. I unsubbed the other day. I really don't know why it is. But who's this? Emma Elliott. So I'm just bored. Things have been a bit quiet here. Do I recognize her? Almost. But not really. I tell you though, I am a little bit bored, so maybe I'll wrap up. I don't know if there's anything else to say. I was hoping some of my new subs might tune in. 5 new subs today. I was also hoping that the person who I was just watching and kind of alluding to might tune in. Um, Again, I think I did it in a nice, gentle, respectful way, bringing up that I was, what I was hearing and some details there. And they're not really that uncommon. A little bit, but not really to like other people as well. And yeah, I'm kind of bored, and I also would rather look. Well, I guess I have been largely looking at the big screen. Well, the laptop, but I'm a little bit surprised at the city of shorts, not just pants. She's only got 2 people watching too. I feel bad for her. So, either we chat or I watch Jackie. The choice is yours. And then watch that Jackie that I've met on here will come in and say, "You were going to watch me?" Might be a different one. Because I don't believe she posts content. Um, but might even. No, I don't think it'd be Jacques because that would be a man. Jacques. Jacques? Or Jackie Q. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up. Talk to you later. Bye. Yeah, I think so.